that really was the extent of it.
So since you're down WWE, it seems that people backstage are the talent backstage is as well.
Let's get it.
So Dirty Dom recently had an interview, and I'm going to read what Dirty Dom had to actually say. So Dom did an interview with, I'm going to butcher the magazine, SA Magazine, and he says, quote, "I don't think they know what to do with me in WWE. I'm too cool. Like they have lightning in a bottle and they have no idea what to do with it. So they're just letting it sit. I'm just waiting. I could have all the storylines. What are they waiting for? I don't know. I've defeated John Cena, AJ Styles, my deadbeat dad, Rey Mysterio, Damian Priest. I don't know what they're waiting for. I'm 29 years old. I'm young. We've got all these old fossils working. I don't know what they're waiting for. I'm a patient man. I can wait. If they want to put me in Clash in Italy, I'll put my AAA mega title on the line." That was Dominik Mysterio from an interview from SA Magazine. So, what are your thoughts?
When Vince was around, when did you ever hear anyone do interviews like
that? Not really. People would say they didn't know what to do with me. That was common. But interviews, no. That was said after the fact.
Yeah, exactly.
So what do you think they could be doing with Dom? Because I have my opinion. So what are yours?
Defending his AAA title, dropping the title and making him chase after titles on the show, having a legitimate feud with Finn rather than just running from Finn, putting a series of mixed tag matches with him and Liv. But I know that's not the question, but what's Liv doing? We got no challenger for the world championship or the women's world title. They don't know what to do with Liv. But there's a former U.S. women's champion, Julia. Man, I could go on about her. I mean, the talent, the look, everything. They don't know what to do with her. There's a plethora of talent. They have no idea what to do with, and they do nothing with. Jade, she was a champion for 300,000 days, defended the title twice on her second time, lost it at WrestleMania. They don't know what to do with Jade. What do you think they should do? I mean, what do you think they should do with Dom? But obviously we could go down a rabbit hole of a million talent that they're not using.
So for Dom, I don't mind him being the AAA champion because now granted AAA is a YouTube show, but they've done a good job of sprinkling it in, and he'll end up in AAA and having his storylines over there. And also Ray is the new GM of AAA, if anybody doesn't know. So personally on TV, I think it's strange because with Dom was the biggest heel that they have. And remember when he turned on Rhea, the running joke was he turned heel twice. He was the first person in history to do that. And there's so much that Dom can do. Because when he said that, I really don't think they know what to do with him because one, the heel heat isn't heel heat anymore because he gets cheered essentially. Now, for me personally, I would still have him have a proper feud with Finn, but the way Triple H book stuff is, he underexposes people. And I don't think he exposes them enough. He underexposes them, but he doesn't give them the overexposure. Dom would have been all over the show. We would see Dom 3-4 times a night, but we don't. We see him maybe once or twice, and it's legit for a second. Vince, oh my God, Dom, we would have like 30 minutes of Dom. So I do think, like, for example, you said Liv as well. There's more that Liv and Dom can actually do, I think. I do think we'll see more because I'm not sure what they're doing with Liv. That's been the big thing on social media. Like, why hasn't Liv had a real thing? There's a thing going around that on the summer house show circuit, she'll be facing Io and Sol Ruka in a triple threat matches. So we'll probably get that program coming out of it. It's maybe just Io, but as far as Dom,
there's a plethora of not just stars, but you use it like, and if there's a hesitation of like, oh, who are they not using right? Typically, you just look to, all right, who has the belts? Like, all right, yeah, there's a little uptick right now because of Saturday night's main event. SmackDown, I guess they've been doing a decent job with the men's U.S. title. I mean, Sami Zayn, Trick, Carmelo, the people that have had the belt, they've been around. But, usually if you lose the belt, you disappear. Like Ilya disappeared. I want to pretend I care. I'm not a big fan of Ilya, but he's gone. He disappeared. What are they doing with him?
So, like, we're going to get to this in a second as well. But, like, for, like, the Dom thing, Dom should be in the ring with Roman Reigns. He should be in the ring with Cody because his popularity and him being a heel, it was that high. He's the biggest heel you have/had. There's no
Then you
reason.
got him running from a guy that hasn't won a championship in 5 years.
Yeah, so listen, Dom should be in the ring with those guys because I talked about it after WrestleMania that, especially with Roman's title reign, I thought this was to prepare the next set of guys, and Dom is probably one of the next biggest guys that you actually have, and especially with the crowd will actually be accepting of him. But they haven't put him in that situation. He's doing this thing with Finn, and like I said, underexposed. It's not quite talked about as much. It's not quite talked about, and not much is happening that it needs to be to do what needs to be for it to be relevant. It's just a lot forgettable until we have to discuss it when we preview a pay-per-view. But there is so much stuff they could do with Dom. Now, I hope it's not in AAA because I hope it's not, because I think that the mask versus championship match between Ray and Dom, whenever that eventually happens, should be on WWE TV and not AAA, not to sell AAA. I think it should be on WWE television. But there's so much you can do with Dom, and it's just not happening right now with WWE.